This week on LSMN Overtime, we'll have football playoffs, early non-district basketball, and we'll take a look at a coach who is starting his career with one LSD school after years of coaching for their rival.
Hello and welcome to episode 5 of LSMN Overtime. I'm Brendan Selke.
And I'm DJ Crickshin. Let's jump into some football action as Marcus and Lewisville both had bi-district matchups on Friday. The Marauders traveled to Denton to take on the number 6th ranked Geyer Wildcats. Geyer got the first score of the game with a 2-yard run, but Marcus fired back late in the first quarter with some quick movement down the field. Dual threat Chance Sauter scored a TD to tie the game at 7-all. In the second quarter, Marcus hung tough with a couple of key defensive stops. However, Geyer scored a touchdown and got an interception, which led to them having a 2-touchdown lead going into halftime as they were up 21-7. In the second half, Geyer refused to give up ground, scoring 3 touchdowns and pulling away from the Marauders. Geyer extends their undefeated streak and it ends Marcus's playoff run 42-7.
Meanwhile, over in Lewisville, the 9-1 Farmers hosted the 7-3 Allen Eagles. The Farmers scored right off the bat with a 31-yard pass to the end zone from Ethan Terrell, with safety Jaden Hardy. Later in the second, Allen scored a touchdown on their own, but Lewisville stood their ground, ending the first half up 20-6. The Farmers continued to dominate in the second half, earning 2 touchdowns. In the final moments of the game, junior quarterback Ethan Terrell scored an 80-yard rushing touchdown, and Lewisville beat Allen 43-18.
You know, the next game for Lewisville coming up, they're going to play against Martin. Martin's currently on an 8-game winning streak, so it might be a tough matchup.
Yeah, it's a big playoff game, but Martin played Allen earlier in the year and lost. It was their 3rd game of the season. They lost by 11 points. But now Lewisville just beat Allen big time, so I think they have an advantage going into this one. And then speaking of Lewisville's last game against Allen, Ethan Terrell had a big game. Vinny Williams, you have more on him with this spotlight?
Yep. This spotlight goes out to Ethan Terrell, the Lewisville quarterback turned into a running back, versus Allen racking up 164 yards on just 14 carries. Terrell also had 4 rushing touchdowns that night. Throwing the ball, he was 7 for 10 for 55 yards and a touchdown. He was one of the many reasons the Farmers beat the Eagles for the first time since '95. We'll see if Terrell can continue his outstanding plays in the second round of the playoffs this weekend. I'm Vinny Williams. Back to you guys.
Thanks for that great spotlight, Vinny. Also, an honorable mention to Lewisville's Jaden Hardy. He had a dual threat night with a receiving and throwing touchdown, along with a clutch pick. And then now for one current LHS football star to a former standout. This week's alumni star is Damian Martinez. Martinez graduated from Lewisville just last year. The true freshman running back has been on a tear at Oregon State. In the last 4 games since Martinez has been named the starter, he averaged over 100 yards. 6.2 yards a carry, and had 3 touchdowns as well. Martinez has had quite a bright future for the Beavers and will look to continue their dominance against Arizona State this weekend. Cheering on a ball game is every fan's right, but should fans be allowed to say whatever they want to players and participants?
This is especially concerning when it comes to high school sports. Vinny Williams takes a look at this from the perspective of both the players and the fans.
Being part of the student section at any game is part of the high school dream experience, but sometimes it can get out of hand and affect the wellness of players and referees.
Sometimes the big crowd can be hurtful to players, so we hear what the players have to say.
Sometimes where there's people in the stands saying things that we don't associate with and stuff like that, and they might call a player out and they might just motivate them in a negative way.
If you have a great crowd, it'll be easier to win the game, just seeing people support you, but a negative crowd can also affect the game as well. So we just want to focus on the positive side, not the negative side, and just block out all the noise.
Earlier this season, we talked with the Texas Association of Sporting Officials on the shortage of referees and the abuse they get from crowds.
One of the biggest issues that keeps popping up why we're short is the constant abuse of officials, the verbal abuse. We've had officials that have been physically accosted or assaulted and going out to their cars.
So we turned to the Lewisville Boneheads to see how they handle cheering with class and respect.
We are very good with sportsmanship because we get everything approved by Baker, our principal, and if something is an issue, we will bring it up with him. There was an issue where somebody said something earlier in the year, but everything was resolved, and I think that taught us as a crowd that we do need to be mindful of how words can affect others, but overall I would say we're a very respectful crowd.
With all this info, be mindful next game you go to. You never know what may be going on in a player's head. With LSMN Overtime, I'm Vinny Williams.
After the break, we've got to check up on some basketball highlights.
And we'll take a look at Marcus Coach, who is now on the other side of the mound rivalry.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Thanks for watching LSMN Overtime.
This is AV Sports Broadcasting at Tech East. We focus on sports media and live studio production. The class live streams LSD games on YouTube. We also produce Overtime, a bi-weekly sportscast with highlight reels, news packages, and everything produced by students. So if you're interested in video production and editing, or if you just have a passion for sports, this class is for you. Scan the QR code to get more information, and maybe we'll see you on TV.
Let's jump straight into some girls basketball. Flower Mound faced off against Sanger Tuesday night in an early season matchup. The Lady Jags struggled out of the gate as the Lady Indians went up early, but Maya Bujak kept them in the game, only being down 32-33 going into halftime. In the second, Flower Mound dominated the paint as they were all over the Sanger defense going into the third quarter. The fourth quarter was all Flower Mound as they outscored Sanger by 11, then closed out the game with a bank three from Bujak. Flower Mound won the game 61-55.
Yeah, Geyer also traveled to Lewisville, and Lewisville was able to take that win 57-52.
Yeah, then also the Colony had a tough matchup against the Prosper, 46-37.
Turning to boys basketball, the Marauders hosted Frisco Independence. The Marauders' defense was stiff early on, holding the Knights to just 9 points in the first quarter. Marcus's Naeem Cornett had 16 points in the game and shot 3 of 4 from the three-point line. Junior Dyson Dudley drives through the lane and dishes to Cornett for the jumper. In the second quarter, Marcus dominated the paint. Dudley gets one of his 8 defensive rebounds here. The Marauders went on to defeat the Knights 55-45.
And then Flower Mound had a tough matchup against Dallas Spruce as they lost 55-40.
And the Colony hosted Emerson and was able to take the win 72-62.
And speaking of the Colony's boys basketball team, congratulations to their head basketball coach Cleve Ryan, who earned his 400th win on Saturday. But did you know that teaching wasn't always the plan for Coach Ryan?
Swore I was never going to get into teaching and coaching, and my dad was a football coach, and so some people told me I was going to teach and coach when I was in college, and I said, no, I'm not. And then, 25 years later, I've been teaching and coaching basketball.
Next up for the Cougars is Crandall, as they look to extend their unbeaten streak.
Yeah, they're off to a great start this season, especially with those 2 starting freshmen who we covered previously this season.
Yeah, make sure to go watch episode 4 if you want to learn more about them. In March, Marcus named its new head coach for the boys basketball team. It's the third in the past 5 years.
This new Marcus head coach didn't come from very far away. Brendan had a chance to talk with him about the new position.
The Marcus boys basketball team has a new coach. Coach Wright has more than a decade's experience over at Flower Mound.
Flower Mound for 14 years, and it was awesome. I loved it there. The people are great. The kids are great. Come to Marcus, and they were all happy for me. They called me Trader a few times in a good, fun way.
With the change of leadership, it sometimes brings challenges, but this squad is optimistic.
He chose us over Flower Mound. He could have stayed there, but he decided to come here. So I feel like we play harder for him, knowing that.
I think there's definitely benefits with that. Just seeing both perspectives of the rivalry, things that they were better than us at, that he was able to bring it here.
A culture shift has happened for the Marauders, but the squad has high hopes for the season.
It's an opportunity that I was really looking forward to and hope that I got. They're working really hard. They're young, so we're a little bit inexperienced, but just how much work they put in and just trying to translate that onto the court and see what we can do.
It's really cool learning who he is and how he's, making his team better and understanding how he likes to run the game. Very energetic. He lets us play free a little bit, but also likes to be organized.
He's really like a player's coach. He's real supportive. He's hard on us sometimes, but he's just making us better overall. I think he's been a great addition, and he really helps us get better.
Just the positive attitude really helps. We're going to have a great season this year.
Check out the Marauders as they continue their season on Friday against Sherman. For LSMN Overtime, I'm Brendan Selke.
On to some wrestling. Lewisville competed in the Dallas Hillcrest meet this past weekend. The team placed third overall and had 4 wrestlers placed first or second in their weight classes.
The Marcus boys wrestling team also placed third in the Timber Creek Classic tournament. Kevin Farrell took first place in his weight class, while they had 2 other wrestlers finish in the top 5 of their classes.
Switching up to some swimming action, the Marcus swimming team competed in the Aggieland International last Saturday. Brooke Shumway broke the Marcus 100-meter butterfly record with a time of 57:21. This was a great way to start off the season for Shumway. Next up for Shumway and the Marauder swimmers is the LISD Invitational. And that's all the sports news we have for this week and for the year.
Yeah, Overtime will take a break for the holidays, but we'll be back with a whole new crew next semester. For my partner DJ Criction, I'm Brendan Selke. We'll see you in 2023.